the silence, heart bruised by the fight. Shadows on my pillow, echoes of the night. But grace like thunder whispered through the pain. You are not forgotten, I break every chain. I've walked through fire, I've cried through storms, but in your mercy I am reborn. From tears to honor I'll rise again. No more a victim, I stand in Him. He lifts the weary, He heals the scar. With every heartbeat He mends the heart. From ashes I will find my flame. By the power of Jesus' name. Every cruel word carved deep in my soul, but truth rewrites me, starts to make me whole. The grind that wore me down won't steal my song. With Christ beside me, I am strong. Expand my mind, tear down the lies, open my eyes to heaven's skies. You turn my mourning into fight. Now I wear courage forged in light. From tears to honor I'll rise again. No more a victim, I stand in Him. He lifts the weary, He heals the scar. With every heartbeat He mends the heart. From ashes I will find my flame. By the power of Jesus' name. So here I stand, no fear, no shame. Child of God forever changed.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. You know, this morning, I just wanted to take a different spin, a different approach to the early morning gratitude. You know, a lot of times we wake up and we take for granted that everybody woke up this morning. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I'm given another day to do this, another day to right my wrongs, you know, because not everybody was given that opportunity. And I want to start the day off with some motivation, some strength, some gratitude, and give you a little bit of insight with the help of Steve Harvey.
You keep letting people's opinions hold you hostage. You are sitting on ideas, dreams, plans, all because of what someone might think. The truth is, most of them won't think at all. They'll scroll right past your life while you are stuck in fear of their judgment. That's not living. That's surviving someone else's expectations. Half the time, the people you're worried about are too busy trying to look like they have got it together. And the other half, they are afraid you will succeed and make them uncomfortable. You can't let that stop you. You have got rent, bills to clear, a legacy to build, none of which is covered by their opinions. You are wasting energy worrying about people who aren't adding any value to your mission. They are not in the gym with you. They are not praying with you. They are not hustling with you. So why do they have such a loud voice in your head? You have got to turn that volume down and turn your focus up. The truth is, you could do everything right and they still have something to say. You could sacrifice, give, and stay humble.
That is so true. You know, I've always told my clients that they need to stop worrying so much about what people say about them, because people are going to talk about them today, tomorrow, to the end of time, even after they're gone. They're always going to have something to say. Either you turn those off and learn to live for yourself, or you'll constantly be trying to be a people pleaser and please other people based on the reality that they want you to live rather than the reality of where you're living or going.
And someone will still find fault. That's why you stop doing it for them. You do it for the calling in you. You do it because God gave you a vision, not a committee. You don't need applause. You need results. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. And respect starts with self-respect. If you respect your grind, your own time, your process, you'll stop caring what they think. You'll start living by your standards. Some folks won't support you until it's popular. Some won't believe until they see the finish line. And that's fine. Let them catch up later. You are not responsible for their understanding. You are responsible for your obedience to your purpose. You were not created to live under someone else's opinions. You were created to lead with boldness, to walk in your truth, to build what they can't even imagine.
And people do hold people to a higher standard, but there's times when you just have to let go. Love them from afar, because, like I've always said, you can't change another person, especially another adult. If they're unwilling to see the manifestations of their life that is not going anywhere, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face, and they still will give that pep talk, knee jerk reaction, but within time, they'll fall right back into old behaviors.
You have been too accessible to people who don't deserve your presence. You answer every call, respond to every message, and show up for people who wouldn't blink if you went missing. That's not love. That's people pleasing. That's fear being misunderstood, and it's draining you. You have got to start realizing your energy is currency. Every time you give it to the wrong person, you bankrupt your peace. Some folks don't come to add, they come to drain. They want to be close to your fire, but don't want to carry wood. They love the light, but not the label. You are not God. You are not a fixer. You are not a therapist for the emotionally unavailable. Your job is not to rescue everyone at your own expense. You can't fly with dead weight tied to your wings. You have got to cut access to keep elevation. You need boundaries, not because you are bitter, but because you are building. Builders don't have time for distractions. Builders don't explain the blueprints to people who only want to criticize the design.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful who you tell your dreams to, because there are a lot of people that they want to hear it, but they only want to hear it to tear it down, to criticize it, to give you their opinion of why you should quit. It's kind of like I gave this example a long time ago. Like crabs in a bucket. Excuse me. Have you ever seen crabs in a bucket? You got a bunch of them in there, and one starts to want to get out. What do? You have two pulling them back down to the bottom. And that's the mentality of a lot of people. We can't let you escape. What if you become successful? Then we got to take a look at ourselves, and we got to look at our own lives and have an understanding that we're really not going anywhere.
Builders don't open the door for people who keep bringing confusion inside. You have been confusing loyalty with obligation. You think because they were there before, they should still be here now. But some folks were part of a past season, not your next. Growth requires a separation. Sometimes God removes people to clear your path. Your circle should challenge you, elevate you, and inspire you. If it's draining you, you are in the wrong room. If you feel small every time they come around, it's time to stop inviting them. You are not meant to say no. You are mature for protecting your progress. Not everyone deserves access to your time, your space, your dreams, your prayers. You are not a community center. You are a temple being built daily. Every time something doesn't work out, you start thinking you are the problem. That's not the truth. What you are facing is not failure, it's feedback. You are collecting lessons. You are learning what the blueprint looks like for your destiny. That's growth, not defeat.
You know, I was talking about waking up with gratitude and waking up with a different purpose. What are your goals for today? What is your blueprint for success? Do you even have one? Do you even have an understanding of what you want your day to look like? Because if you see it, you can achieve it. And there's times when we wake up, it's Saturday, we've worked hard all week. We don't want to get up early. I'm one of those people. But for some reason, I'm awake. I can't sleep past the time when I'm normally at work. So my body's already conditioned to be up at a certain time. What I do with my what I do with the rest of the day that's going to determine my belief in whether I succeeded or whether I just shortchanged myself.
We've been taught to fear failure like it's a death sentence. A failure is just a redirection. It's life saying that wasn't the path. Let me show you another one. And if you are listening, you'll hear the lesson. You'll feel the shift. You'll know the next move. You have got to stop beating yourself up for what didn't work. Start asking better questions. What did I learn? What can I improve? What did that teach me about myself? Self-awareness grows every time you stumble. Wisdom increases when you reflect. Some of the most successful people fail big, over and over, but they didn't let it label them. They let it teach them. And that's what you have got to do. Wear those scars like badges. They show that you tried. They show that you are in the game. There's a difference between failing and quitting. Failing means you tried. Quitting means you gave up. And as long as you're still breathing, still dreaming, trying, you haven't quit. You're just in the middle of a lesson. Nobody great became great without falling. They just got up more times than they failed. And that's the only formula you need. Fall, get up, adjust. Go again.
Fall, get up, adjust. You have to ask yourself, how many times have I fell and kept on going regardless? This isn't about failure. This is about motivation to build a routine in your life that you're okay with. A routine that gives you motivation to get up, get going, and achieve. Because whether you realize this or not, this is no dress rehearsal. We only get this once. And do you want to spend your life stuck in a rut, doing the same thing over and over and over, getting the same results, and telling yourself, well, when I win the lottery, or when I have this, when I have that, then I'll be happy. But in the meantime, you're miserable because you don't have an understanding of the beauty of your life. You're miserable because you hang with miserable people. You're miserable because you listen to miserable people. You're miserable because it's easier to be miserable than to be positive.
In and again and again until the breakthrough comes. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building something real. And real takes time. You have been trained to be polite at your own expense, taught to be nice instead of honest. But kindness isn't the same as self-sacrifice. You can say no and still be kind. You can set boundaries and still have compassion. The two are not enemies. When you say yes to everyone, you become resentful. You start giving from an empty cup. You start showing up angry, tired, and fake. That's not love, that's survival. And your soul can feel the weight of that fake yes every single time. You have got to permit yourself to disappoint people, to let them down if it means standing up for yourself. Because real love respects boundaries. Real friends won't guilt trip you for choosing your well-being. Real support doesn't require self-abandonment. Start practicing the word no without a paragraph. You don't need to defend your peace. You don't.
That's a huge statement right there. You don't need to defend your peace. You don't need to explain yourself or your reason for not wanting to be a part of this or wanting to be a part of that. You don't need to get approval from others to make a decision that's best for you and your life. That's what we do. We look for acceptance in the masses. And most of the time, those masses will drive you right in over the cliff as you're laughing and joking along the way because it feels good. Happiness is a enticement to many people's daily rapport in their lives. But what happens when the happiness stops coming? When you're miserable and nothing you do gives you any kind of enjoyment because you're receiving it from the outside world instead of receiving it from yourself.
Don't need to explain your healing. A simple I care is enough. Or not this time is enough. You are enough with or without their approval. You are not rejecting them. You are choosing you. You are choosing the time to rest, time to grow, time to listen to your own heart. That's not selfish. That's sacred. Your no is not an insult. It's a declaration of self-respect. If you don't protect your own time, no one else will. If you don't honor your own space, people will walk all over it. You are not on this earth to entertain people. You are not here to impress strangers who don't even know what it took for you to get out of bed this morning. But that's what it starts to feel like, doesn't it? Like you're living on a stage, acting out a script that wasn't even written by you. You smile when you want to cry. You say, I'm good when your soul is breaking. That's not a strength, that's survival with makeup on. You don't have to post every win. You don't have to prove you are happy. You don't have to wear your success like a badge to convince people you are doing okay. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is sit in silence and give yourself space to be real. This pressure to perform is stealing your peace. You are chasing applause from people who don't even clap for themselves.
That's hardcore right there. You're chasing applause from people who don't even clap for themselves. If if I gotta explain that to you, then you need to take a deeper inventory into your life because there are many people that never give themselves praise for the small things that they do right. They build up into the bigger picture. They're always looking for approval. Approval, being relevant, having an understanding of everyone but themselves. Have you ever asked somebody, well, how are you? Or who are you is the bigger question. If you ask them who they are, most people can't answer that question. They'll tell you about their job. They'll tell you about any convictions or any kind of trouble they've been in. They'll tell you about their kids, their family, all this stuff. But they can't tell you a lot of times who they are. Who they are. Who are you? Who are you?
When you start living for likes, you'll forget what it feels like to live for purpose. When you start filtering your life for validation, you lose the unfiltered beauty of growth. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be polished to be worth something. The mess in your journey is part of what makes it meaningful. Let them see the real, not the rehearsed. Stop waiting until everything's Instagram worthy to live your life. Joy doesn't come with perfect lighting. Growth doesn't happen with a ring light in your face. Real progress is ugly sometimes. It's crying at 2 a.m. It's doubting yourself at 10 a.m. It's starting over at 3 p.m. And none of that looks pretty, but it's what builds your real self. You weren't created to perform. You were created to become. And becoming takes breaking. Becoming takes silence. Becoming takes walking away from the audience and choosing to go backstage and heal. You owe no one an explanation for doing what's best for your soul. Your healing doesn't need their approval to be valid. This world.
That's true. And I'm going to play another video that is, I mean, we can beat a dead horse, but that is so true. I want this other video because it's so powerful. You know, it's powerful. Just as this one is. You got to stop being people pleasers. Stop worrying about the masses and start worrying about you. There's many people that woke up today ready to fight. And for what?
Listen up. I need you to hear me today. Not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because what I'm about to tell you might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. See, life ain't waiting on you. Life don't care about your excuses. Life don't care about your fears. Life don't care about how comfortable you are. The clock is ticking, and the question is, are you going to keep hitting snooze, or are you finally going to wake up and make a change? Some of y'all been stuck in the same situation for years. Same job you hate. Same toxic relationships. Same bad habits. You keep saying, one day I'm going to get it together. One day I'm going to chase my dream. But let me tell you something. One day ain't on the calendar. If you don't decide to change today, then what makes you think tomorrow is going to be any different? Life has a funny way of moving forward, whether we're ready or not. Every single day, the sun rises, time moves, and the world keeps turning, but some of us are still asleep, still stuck in the same old patterns, still waiting for something magical to happen before we decide to move. We keep hitting snooze, not just on our alarms, but on our dreams, our goals, and our potential. We tell ourselves, just a little longer, just one more day.
And that is so true. You know, I've counseled people for a long time. And one thing is they always tell you, I need help. I need help. I need help. Help me. Help me get over this. Help me get through this. But you can tell them over and over and over the same thing. It doesn't change. It doesn't change until they decide to change. So if you're beating a dead horse or you have someone in your life that's not listening, maybe it maybe they don't understand the process of where you're trying to direct them. Because it's not for you. You don't use manipulation in your assistance. Sure, we want to see people get better, but manipulation and guilt are not part of the process.
Start next week. I'll change next month. And before we know it, years have passed and we're still in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. It's not that we don't want better. It's not that we don't have the desire to grow, to achieve, to become something greater than we are right now. It's that comfort is a powerful thing. Comfort convinces us that where we are is good enough, even when deep down, we know we were made for more. Comfort whispers that change is too hard, too risky, too uncertain. And so we stay. We stay in jobs we hate. We stay in relationships that drain us. We stay in habits that harm us. Not because we want to, but because the idea of change feels overwhelming. But here's the truth. Every time you hit snooze on your life, you are making a decision to settle, a decision to stay stuck, a decision.
Nobody wants to be told about their life. Nobody wants to be reminded of the voices that echo in their head every day. But the truth of the matter is, you can't be miserable and asking for change or refusing to try anything different. It really doesn't work that way. You know, you have to give up the fight eventually. You have to stop fighting you. Stop telling yourself you won't be able to do this, that it's too hard, or you're scared. Accept the task and go through it one small step at a time. Eventually, you'll be through it and you'll start benefiting from the rewards of not quitting. You'll start enjoying the process of looking in that mirror again and recognizing your face. You don't have to wear that mask anymore.
Decision to waste the time you've been given. And time, that's the one thing you don't get back. You can make more money, you can build new relationships, you can fix mistakes, but you cannot rewind time. Once it's gone, it's gone. And the saddest thing in the world is looking back and realizing that you had every opportunity to change, but you kept pushing it off for later, for tomorrow, for the right time that never actually came. Excuses are easy. We tell ourselves that we're waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, the right opportunity. But in reality, what we're really waiting for is permission to believe in ourselves. We wait for some sign, some outside force to push us into action. But no one is coming to do it for you. No one is going to show up, grab you by the hand, and lead you into the life you've been dreaming about. That's on you. That's your job. The people.
You know, there are times when I talk to people and they're upset because they're the person they see in the mirror is no longer who they recognize. They may have an issue with weight gain. They may have an issue with weight loss. Whatever it might be, we've gotten used to making excuses for our decisions. And those excuses have become our reality. If we can excuse it away, then we don't have to be accountable for what we do. It makes the blow a little softer when we lie to somebody, when we manipulate them, when we just try to get them to go our way. Stop with the excuses and get on with the fight. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. You can do it, but it starts today. And it starts right now. Not when this video ends, but it starts right now in your head when you don't let those voices tell you you can't, you won't. Why? Do it. Challenge them.
People who succeed, the people who make it, the people who break free from their old lives and step into something better, they aren't necessarily the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. They are the ones who made a decision. They got tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of watching life pass them by while they sat on the sidelines. And one day, they just got up. They just started. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have everything figured out, but they understood that waiting wasn't going to get them anywhere. And let's be honest, how many times have you told yourself you were going to change? How many times have you made promises to yourself that you didn't keep? You said you were going to start that business. You said you were going to leave that toxic relationship. You said you were going to get in shape, save money, follow your passion, stop wasting time. And yet here you are, still saying the same thing, still making the same excuses, still waiting for something outside of you to force you into action. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep getting what you've always gotten. You can't pray for growth while clinging to comfort. You can't ask for a better life while refusing to make better choices. You can't expect change when you're still pressing snooze on the very things that could transform your life.
And that is so true. I'm not going to make a long one today because there was a lot said there. I hope that you got something from this to start your day awesome. And just understand, everybody falls. It's what you do once you fall. It's going to determine where you go once you get up. What are you going to do? How are you going to be able to overcome the urge to just sit down and not do nothing? Y'all have a wonderful weekend. My name is 12 Gauge.
Woke up in the silence, heart bruised by the fight. Shadows on my pillow, echoes of the night. But grace like thunder whispered through the pain. You are not forgotten, I break every chain. I've walked through fire, I've cried through storms, but in your mercy I am reborn. From tears to honor I rise again. No more a victim, I stand in Him. He lifts the weary, He heals the scar. With every heartbeat He mends the heart. From ashes I will find my flame. By the power of Jesus' name. Every cruel word carved deep in my soul, but truth rewrites me, starts to make me whole. The grind that wore me down won't steal my song. With Christ beside